Group settings. Hi, welcome to the first ever podcast we've ever recorded for the channel of Group Settings, but the podcast is called Trend Settings because we talk all about what's hot, what's
Trending.
going on, what's in that little section on the right, on the bottom of Facebook, or it's like bottom right, leftish.
What's bottom right?
It's like,
who's online?
you know when you're on Facebook on a desktop, like who does it, right?
Chat.
And then
What's
the
the
chat?
Yes,
desktop?
chat.
Yeah.
Definitely chat.
That's the chat bar.
Yeah.
yeah, it's got a little squiggle that has like a trending. I should have used that for the logo. That would have been bloody perfect.
I don't think you've been on Facebook.
I literally have no idea what he's talking about.
Your whole
Bottom
Pokemon
right.
freaking thing has gone on Facebook.
That's
I don't think we haven't seen it. Anyway,
Team Valor
so we got
for the win.
we've got two main topics and a
Team
few
stupid.
subtopics that are going to be between them, just to break it up a little bit.
Yep.
But first things first is we are going to talk. We're not talking about Pokemon yet, damn HN.
Sorry.
Put it away.
Keep going.
No,
First
put-
one we're talking about is a little bit serious. It's Jono's topic,
Bring it
and
down.
it is. What's your topic, Jono?
Well, I wanted to talk about race relations because who doesn't want to talk about race relations,
Guilty. No.
right?
Well, I think we're pretty diverse, so I think we're educated enough.
Look at me.
but,
I mean,
We're like a
I mean,
band.
it's in the news at the moment. It's obviously very important to a lot of people, so I think I
right.
should talk about it.
So what's the story?
Well, a whole bunch of people got killed in America.
Hashtag Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, I think that's the whole story. So
Yeah.
give us a bit of groundwork.
Okay.
What is the story behind Black Lives Matter?
Okay, well, that story goes quite a couple of years back because there's been a number of killings of black people by police officers, and also other people. And basically, the root of it is that black people get killed by law enforcement, and then it seems like there isn't any justice behind it. It seems like the people get away with it because they're black. And that
Right.
sort of spawned the whole Black Lives Matter movement because there's the assumption that the black people don't matter. So there's a need to improve the standing of black people in society, right? So
Right.
they say Black Lives Matter.
So it's not that new.
No, these things have been happening for a really long time, but
The hashtags
sort of-
new, the ideas old.
Yeah, the hashtags
So
new.
Racism's been around for a while.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. So why is it trending now?
Oh, well, in the last week, there was 2 shootings of black men by police officers.
Right.
Was one of those videos going around on Facebook?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I seen that. I did
Oh,
not
the
click
girl?
it.
In the
one
car?
of them,
So weird.
yeah, one of them was a guy who was getting stopped in front of his car. He was getting searched because he was selling CDs outside of a shop, as far as I can understand. And then
Sorry,
basically, there's
can I
2
stop you
cops.
there?
Yeah.
Who has CDs?
That's actually the first thing I thought of as well.
His mixtape was fire.
CDs of what?
Selling
He was
CDs.
selling CDs of what?
Like,
I mean-
where do you even get CDs from?
I mean, he's behind hardware-wise, but let's be honest, that's not a reason to shoot someone.
yeah. I mean,
Or even or even arrest them.
you can't even buy a laptop to put a CD into anymore.
but the guy actually ends up getting shot, right?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
dead.
But he's but okay, so when you look at the video, and I've seen some different people are analysing the video, and the police officers are on top of him. They're literally sitting on him, but one of his hands is still free. So they're people who analyse the video, they say they know what they're talking about. This is the internet, so everyone says they know what they're talking about.
Right. Like
But-
us.
Yeah.
Subscribe. Trend settings on iTunes and YouTube.
But one person did a focus, and they're saying his right hand is moving towards a gun that he's got in his
Right.
waistband. So basically, the cops are justified in shooting him.
Fair enough.
Does it look like that? I haven't actually watched the video.
I didn't click on
That
it.
first one is really hard to tell. The second one, so they're both kind of
Is
hard.
it two
to
different
tell.
videos of the same thing?
No,
Yeah,
they're
no,
two-
because
there's
then
two-
there was
two-
one.
two
There's the one with the
separate
guy
scenes.
outside on the ground, and then there's the lady inside the car filming something. Is that a different one?
So that's the one where the guy got pulled over
Yeah.
by a cop. And
I don't-
he got
I don't
shot
know.
through the window because he told
Yeah.
the cop that he has a license to carry a weapon, and he has a weapon on him,
Right.
which is perfectly legal in
Which is
America.
what you're supposed to say, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what you're going to say. You're meant to say, and then you think he said, "Oh, get your hands up again," and then the cops shot him. And that one, a lot of it comes down to hearsay because the person filming it, the guy's girlfriend, only started after the shots.
Right.
So basically, the video starts right after the shots
Oh.
have been fired. So that one's they both have
Right.
they both need investigation, right?
Well,
But-
they have videos on Facebook. So.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So
The
but there needs to
videos
be
do
enough.
seem pretty damning.
Yeah,
It's
it's part of the fifth element and
Fifth Element. I
Okay.
freaking
Part
love
of the
that
Fifth Element
movie.
is where Bruce Willis gets the thing out of the girl.
And then Gary Oldman bleeds out
What
of
is
his
the Fifth
forehead,
Element, though? Love.
and the cockroach has a camera on it.
Love is the fifth element.
Fifth Amendment in America is you can't get accused of murder. Basically, you can't get a capital trial for accusation without a grand jury. So there's a bunch of people from like societies, like 25 or something, and a majority of them need to go. Yeah, those are fair charges. So basically, the public prosecutor will make a case before them in a court, and that happened with a bunch of the other police shootings or killings. You know, there was the guy in New York who got like the chokehold.
Yes.
Yeah, so
I
not
don't know
always,
that.
they're not always shootings. There was the guy who was
Yeah.
selling illegal cigarettes,
Right.
and they like tackled him, and he like gets like one of the officers gets him in a chokehold
Yeah.
from behind,
What's an illegal
And it kills
cigarette?
and he's like,
That's a
they're
good
ones that
question.
aren't taxed. They're like black market cigarettes. They're basically someone
that a
selling them
thing?
on the street. Yeah,
Cigarettes are
I
expensive.
did not know that.
yeah. So it's really expensive.
Wow,
So they just
okay.
make their own, and then they like sell them in the street. Anyway, no
There you
tax,
go.
cheaper, whatever. It's not a
Fair enough.
killable offense, but
Right. So he
the-
killed
one
him
of-
by choking him.
yeah. Well, like he's a pretty big guy.
Did the guy have asthma or something?
He,
I
like,
feel like
I
it's
think he has like a
Probably.
really bad asthma
Yeah.
attack or
Right.
something, and the guy's got him in chokehold, which is against their own department's policy.
right.
But that wasn't enough to get him like actually given a murder trial.
Mm.
So a lot of those cases, no one got charged. Like Tamir Rice, the kid in the park with a BB gun.
Yes.
The cops get a call, right? It's a guy saying, "Oh, there's a kid with a gun, or it looks like a gun." The guy even tells the 911 operator, "I think it's a fake gun."
Mm.
But the 911 operator doesn't convey that to the police officers.
Right.
And in the video, they rock up, and within like 10 seconds, they've gotten out of the car and just shot him.
Freak.
And this is just a kid with a BB gun in a playground. So, and there were no charges for that. So the grand jury decided that they were innocent,
Mm.
which is like the source of a lot of the problems. The problem with the last two is that they happened in the last week. So it's really hard. Like no one's actually been put on trial. There are investigations happening, and we don't know yet where that'll go. But I think the heart of the Black Lives Matter protest at the moment is that they want something to actually happen, and because
Right.
they've seen nothing happen before.
Like a process of some sort.
Yeah, they want
Like a
they
law
want people
change?
to know that
I
there
think
will be trouble if nothing happens.
the
again.
problem is there's no
Okay.
repercussions because cops
Yeah.
kind of get a free pass. Not a free
Yeah.
pass, but like a.
Mm.
There's so many thousands of police officers in America. There's definitely some racist ones, and there's definitely some who will do the wrong
Yeah.
thing. Right, it's a percentage chance.
Mm.
The problem is if they do the wrong thing and then get away with it.
Right.
Well, the issue is that because they keep getting away with it, it encourages more people to just do whatever they want.
Yeah,
Because there seems to be no.
yeah, and if
repercussion of
they're
that.
if they're
Yeah.
protecting each other, if police officers are basically getting off, then you're protecting that percentage of them that is corrupt or that is like evil, I guess.
Mm.
Who
Right.
should be in jail. And
So-
it ruins the reputation of every other police officer. And also leads to that Dallas shooting, which was when a black army veteran who was part of the New Black Power movement.
That was last week, right?
That was last week at the end of the week at a Black Lives Matter protest, gunned down a bunch of police officers.
Which doesn't help anyway.
No.
It
and
just
that,
makes
and
it
that
worse.
Dallas police force is actually one of the better police forces
Oh.
in terms of the processes it's put in place to improve community.
But he was a black guy too,
relations.
right?
Yeah, he's a black guy, so he's an army veteran.
Right.
So like a lot of the New Black Power movement, the New Black Panther movement is classified as a hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center, which is it's one of the groups that monitors hate groups basically. So like Westboro Baptists, KKK.
Shivers.
So
Is-
like it's
So
that
people you
group
don't
is
want to be
classified
affiliated
that.
with.
Yeah,
Is this the first time they've done something like that?
yeah, and they actually disowned the guy as well.
Okay.
So they're extreme, and they also went, "Oh, this guy's not with us." So
Wow.
Yeah, nice.
So,
yeah.
so it wasn't really like a group thing. It was just one guy.
No, but
Who
because
acted
it
out?
happened at a Black Lives Matter protest, a lot of people are blaming Black Lives
Of
Matter
course.
for the
Right.
shooting of the police.
And of course they're going to disown the guy.
Oh yeah, they're like, this is completely like not helpful to our cause,
Yeah,
right? It's the exact
definitely.
opposite of what they need.
Which
to
is kind of different, contrasting that to the police officers. Are people putting up their hands and saying, we're not associated with these racist police officers?
No, that doesn't really happen. And there's a whole like movement called Blue Lives Matter to counter
And
Black
then
Lives Matter. 'cause
All
they're
Lives
basically
Matter.
saying Lots of police
Blue
officers. And then,
Lives
yeah,
Matter.
all lives matter.
I'm going to be devil's advocate for a second and ask something that I forgot because I thought devil's advocate meant something different until I just said it.
Definitely means something.
Good one.
It means
But it was the
Contrary.
best. It was the best question. Oh, do you think so? It seems like cops can be pretty heavy-handed a lot of the time. I've experienced it personally in my being a white guy.
Your criminal
I'm really
past.
downtrodden. I'm really downtrodden
So oppressed.
with my white privilege. But
Don't
do you
say that, people get angry.
do you
at
think it's
It's
just
making me angry right now.
do you think it's this is not my actual opinion, but I'm just going to ask this. Do you think it actually happens to everyone and it just gets highlighted because it's black people?
No, and the statistics are that black people actually get so a recent study came out from a Stanford professor, and I bet every like right wing or like Blue Lives Matter person is going to say, "Oh, look at this study; it's not a real thing." They basically found that there wasn't a higher instance of shooting for black people in police encounters than white
Right.
people. But what it did find was that there's a way higher instance of encounters. So, like, a police officer
Right.
is way more likely to pull someone over because they're black. So
Right.
the second guy who got shot last week, Philando Castile, I think, he'd been pulled over 52 times in like maybe 10 years of driving.
That's
I've been pulled over like 3 times.
yeah, twice I think. For
And
me.
you're
Mm.
brown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in Australia.
Yeah.
Different kind of brown. I don't think people expect curry people to
Yeah.
do anything bad. But like 52 times, and like they were for really stupid things.
Yeah.
So like your tail lights out or no insurance. But I think that's just what happens to black people in certain neighborhoods. They just get pulled over, and the police will always be able to come up with a reason for it.
Mm.
I don't think those are stupid reasons to pull someone over. That's the law.
But they were all thrown out in court.
But
so like he didn't actually.
so
get
he
convicted of
actually-
anything.
so he didn't have a brake
No,
light
a
out.
couple, he had a couple of actual like traffic violations that
okay.
everyone has, but most of them got thrown out in court. But they have to give a reason,
Mm.
right?
Of course, right.
So those laws obviously exist because there's stuff that you do need to follow. Like you have to have a tail light
Yeah.
and you have to have insurance. But like he wasn't actually. There was no reason to actually pull him over, except for the fact that he was black.
I guess it's pretty impossible to actually prove statistically because the only way you would really know it or experience it is actually being a black person getting pulled over so bloody often. And like, how do you put that into a study?
It's hard to like even imagine. Like I
Yeah.
can't even
Mm.
imagine. Like I can't picture that being a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're white.
Black
Oh,
people,
and because we're here.
Yeah,
Well, the
yeah,
other thing
this
is,
is
like,
definitely American.
Well, we're in Australia, but
Mm.
like even me, who like sounds like an Australian, like acts like an Australian,
Right.
not like someone who's just got off a boat. Like even I get pulled over by the cops, and I can, like, I don't know if I'm feeling it more because I'm thinking that
he
way.
just assumes your car's illegal.
Well, it's more like I can tell that this guy is treating me differently
Mm.
Right.
because I'm not white.
Mm.
Whereas like my wife's driving as a white Australian female,
Blonde.
blonde, like the way she gets
Aryan
treated.
race.
Yeah.
So if
Aryan
anything, you
race.
should have gotten away easier.
Exactly. Well, if she's driving, like no issues. But
Right.
if I'm driving, everything's an issue.
I don't know. Like unpopular opinion. I've never had a bad experience with the police. Like I have.
Because you're white.
No.
That doesn't go against our point.
Yeah. That,
Yeah, but
Exactly.
yeah, it's just hard to
Because you've
picture.
grown up in a nice neighborhood too, right?
Oh yeah,
So
but
I grew up in this neighborhood too, and this is a pretty nice neighborhood. But every time when we had kids in Blacktown to go pick up or whatever, or
Yeah.
hang out with, Blacktown in Western Sydney, so it's like a very multicultural area.
That's the
like
actual name.
Sudanese
That's
kids.
not
it's,
racist.
it's not a colloquialism. It's actually
That's the name
called
of the suburb.
Black Town.
Loads of
Because
different cultures.
When they set it up, it was because they sent all the Sudanese people there.
No, I think
That's-
that's Aboriginal people.
that is
so it's
very
much old- It's a
racist.
much older.
No, like it's an
is
actual
terrible.
place where they sent
I
immigrants,
think
wasn't
that's
it?
no. I think that's where there was a big Aboriginal like town area there.
Right.
So right where
It's still so
right
bad.
where Inside is, there's a big grass area that was actually like traditional, like
Right.
Aboriginal land. Even like Workers Club has like an Aboriginal guy on it.
But even like me, like I get pulled over and I can tell. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
but for me, like I moved to like the UK when I was very young, and this is back in the 90s where like there weren't as many immigrants as there is now. Like right now, if you're living in
And
America,
racial sensitivity just
Yeah.
wasn't a thing,
if you live in Australia or you
especially
live,
for Asians.
or you live in America and you see an Asian guy or like a brown guy, like it's normal.
Yeah.
But back then it wasn't. Like in school, I was the only non-white British guy.
Mm.
And so I know what it feels like to kind of have that feeling of
Different.
like people are judging me just because of the way I am,
Yeah.
Mm.
but it's got nothing to do with what you're doing. So I understand the frustration,
Mm.
but
Yeah. When I remember in my white upbringing, the Asian guy having better food than everyone. That was, you always had like really nice fried rice
Mm.
and like
Did that
cooked things,
make
and I
you
had
feel
this,
angry?
and I just had these freaking dodgy Promite sandwiches that were the same thing every day, and you had like fish and like nice sauce to dip it in.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's as bad as far as my racism
tough.
goes.
What's in
It's
that
food.
sauce?
you don't want to know.
Yeah.
No,
MSG, right?
just enjoy
Is
it.
that, right.
Yeah, I will never understand like what it's like growing up not being white, and like I don't feel bad for being white at all, like because
I don't think you should.
Yeah,
Just-
you
just
should-
brag
you should,
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. fine, man.
but
We
but
get it.
even
You're
like
better than us.
people I
Look
know
down
who
on us.
have grown up here, grown up somewhere else, who are white, I think like it's a common thing. Like everyone says, "Oh, the police pulled me over. They did this. They're all
White guilt.
bastards."
Is
Like
that your Russian accent?
no, that was
Yeah,
my.
I wasn't sure what that
my
was.
white guy accent. That was my. That was actually- that was my brother. Anyway, but
Is your brother a carny?
you don't know. We'll talk about him more later. But everyone I know, like white, black, yellow, they all talk about the police in a negative way. Like, but I have to disagree because I've never had a bad experience.
Well, you don't have to disagree, but you just have to say, oh, maybe they don't treat me the same as they treat it.
No, I have to I just have to tell them my experience.
Yeah,
because
like your
that's
experience
not-
is different.
I-
so what you can say is my experience was different from
Yeah,
theirs.
exactly.
But that's all. Like you can't say any blanket
Yeah.
statements. No, they can't say any blanket statements about
Yeah.
police either. To
Well,
be fair.
And look, it takes one bad experience to kind of
Yeah,
it
it
ruin,
really takes one.
that
I will
image.
always remember that time I was in Blacktown because
Yeah.
I brought it up. They were so rude. I was with those kids, and they're all Sudanese kids.
Mm.
The police were so rude, and they were just like, "That's how they always are." And I was like, "I can't believe it. I would hate the police if they were like this to me all the time.
That's crazy.
I would actually hate them."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very different experience.
I
in
feel
like
so
poor
sheltered.
areas than-
Well, the reason I actually asked does that happen to everyone was because I went to high school in America, and the one cop confrontation I did have was at a party where I'm not a party animal. I don't know if that comes across in my face and how I talk and the things I'm into.
Who would have known?
So I was up.
What?
I think I was upstairs with MySpace with someone else in the room.
Hello.
Whoa.
That's how old the story is.
Getting crazy.
Who was she?
And I hear this pounding on the door, not
Knocking.
yeah,
Oh,
like someone
okay.
was
Whoa.
knocking very hard on the door,
Yes.
like downstairs. And I get out and I'm like, is like someone order pizza or something? And the pizza guy's just a douchebag. But I get down the stairs and like you know how stairs have like a turn at like,
Yeah.
the middle part, and I turn and it's just this maglite beam in my face. And it's like, get on off the ground, what the fuck you doing? Head on your head! Like the typical, exactly what you think a
gosh.
cop would yell at a black person. And
Awesome.
it was like, I still remember it. I don't have many memories from America because it was like 10 years ago, but that one really stands out. And I remember going, why was he yelling at me so much? I didn't bloody do anything. I was just upstairs on MySpace. Like,
got a lot
is that
of
a
rage.
crime? Is MySpace a crime?
Just creating my page, you know?
Yeah.
Coding HTML.
So that's what
one of those pages that
my
plays
profile
music.
song.
That's right, plays
That's
music.
why he was like,
Custom cursor.
it was the
and
FCC.
everything. Yeah, that's
Hey,
right.
hey there, Delilah.
Yeah, that's right.
And my mum was friggin' so disappointed in me with that. And I was like, Mum,
That's
I wasn't bloody doing anything. I was just in a place.
I was on MySpace.
Like, there was definitely other people doing other things, but that's different. But yeah,
Have the other people warranted getting yelled at?
my mum's still disappointed me.
I see it in her eyes sometimes.
Yeah.
That was a deep moment.
Yeah, and that's so. I think that's my underlying thing of. I feel like they're just over harsh because they have to be to everyone,
Yeah.
which is kind of a factor, but also there's the race factor.
The way I see it, they encounter the worst situations on a pretty regular basis. Like they encounter people who are like complete douches.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that would definitely grind you down. But some of them I think start off bad, and it doesn't get any better.
I think it's the same in any job at all.
Yeah, and it would just come out
There's
more
always
because they
bad
have
eggs.
authority and they can actually tell
Yeah.
you stuff.
Well, look, let me put it to you this way, and you can sort of fit it into the being a police. So I'm a salesman, like as a job,
Right.
right? And every time an Indian person walks, like, okay, so let me start on day one,
I'm
right?
not Indian.
Day one.
He's Sri Lankan.
Day one. Listen,
Just-
all right.
Before you
Listen,
make an Indian call about him, he's Sri Lankan.
listen, day one.
Groupsettings.info.
You start working and everything's going well, and then an Indian walks in the store and you're trying to help him out, and you know, as people know, like they're not the easiest people to work with. And then you're trying to sell them something.
I'm not going to say
Right.
who. I'm not going to drop a name, but I have someone who I've worked with who's gone. Don't ever try to sell something to an Indian person
Exactly.
because they won't buy it.
Exactly. Or they will spend 4 hours with you and then not buy it.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe
So-
later,
So
somewhere
basically
else.
that happens, right? And
Yeah.
then on your second day of work, it happens again and again and again and again. And then 6 months later, if an Indian person walks into the store and you look at them and you automatically think, I don't want to talk to that person, or I guess you...
I'll go to the other person.
Yeah,
who's
or
not
you,
Indian.
I guess you treat them in a different way because of your previous experiences. I know it's a bit different, but put that into a cop's perspective.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think
Would that be?
well, I don't think racism is ever okay. But at the same time, I do understand where they're coming from. If they've had hundreds of experiences that were bad, and then the next black guy you talk to, or the Asian guy you talk to, whoever that minority is a nice guy, but you treat him as if he's a bad guy, then I
And-
kind of get it.
And in America, it's way worse than here.
Mm.
Like, if people can be rude here or they can be annoying here, like, in America, cops have to worry about getting shot because there's more guns than there are people.
Right.
Like, the chances are they're encountering someone with a gun,
Yeah.
right? So, you just, like, you have to amplify everything. Like, everyone is on edge there. That's how I imagine it. Because there are just so many people with the ability to kill you.
Mm.
Like, you would
Kill
have,
multiple
you'd have to, yeah, well, like, and if you're a cop and you're pulling someone over, if they are doing something illegal, they might try and kill you. They might try and shoot you. And lots of cops in America die. So you can't fault them for being on edge in
Yeah.
a country where it's that easy to get a weapon.
Definitely.
I actually have a question. This is going to be the final question for this topic. Yeah, it's a good time, good chunk. Is it racial, the Indian... So the Indian thing, let's take that as an example,
Mm-hmm.
because just for funsies.
Because Indians are
Would
funny.
that be more... Is something like that, I would say, is a pretty cultural thing? So does that count as racism if it's like culturally they're just quite frugal? Is frugal the word?
Yeah, it is. Definitely.
Yeah.
Annoying
I
is
don't
also
think
another word.
that's racist. Because there are cultures where that's like, there's cultures where if you don't haggle, it's considered rude.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right, like that's an actual thing.
Yeah.
Indians definitely tend to be like very frugal.
Yeah.
Like it's all about.
Hey,
like,
I've got a
not
question.
wasting money.
It's very similar to your question. It's basically the same thing.
Right.
But basically, if I look at a black guy and I think he's probably got a really big dick, is that racism?
Statistically, no. Have you seen that chart?
What?
There's a chart of like all the
I-
countries in the world.
Okay, so if it's true,
Even
it's
if
not
it's
racist.
true,
No, but what I'm
it can
saying
still
is-
be
You
racist
should be
if
very
it's
sad.
true.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, it's a positive, but it's still
It's a stereotype.
you're still being
It's-
prejudiced.
yeah.
Is it racism? If it's a
I
good
think
thing.
I think if
positive
there's a
prejudice
scientist-
is still racism, right?
What if you look at an Asian and go, I bet he's good at math?
I think it's the reason why you're saying it. That's what it comes down to. If you're saying that you might have a big dick because you've seen the scientific study where they actually show
There's a
that-
chart.
Yeah, there's a chart that's like all the African countries.
Hey,
on the ground.
There's a chart.
But
There's a chart.
I just want to add something there.
Hey,
If
there's
you're-
a chart.
We'll show you the
if
chart.
you're saying it because of that, then no, that's not. Like, it's not racist to say that there's like black people can sprint better, right? Because out of the 100 people or whatever, or 50 people who've broken the 10-second barrier, 3 of them were not black.
Mm.
I feel like a lot of people would consider that racist, though. I don't,
But
personally.
But the thing
that's
is,
a fact.
Is it racist to assume that though?
I think
Yeah,
here it's not.
yeah. I think if you
because-
look at someone and you go, "Oh, they probably are."
I think in
that would be-
America, like anything to do with race,
Mm.
people say, "Oh, that's racist."
yeah.
But like, is racism still wrong if it's a positive? That sounded really weird the way I phrased it, but
No, I know what you mean.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, that guy's
Yeah.
white, he must be rich.
Well, okay. Imagine if you're a black kid in America and you're just really into games and you're not a jock at all,
Mm.
and people always assume that you were really fast.
Or
That
if
would
you're a
be-
black kid and you have a tiny dick, like how would that make you feel?
I think anyone with a tiny dick would feel bad. No
to
matter
be
your
fair, that
race.
would probably be worse.
No matter
because
your
people
race.
would be assuming.
Like everyone's gonna
Everyone
think
would assume.
this guy.
You would
yeah.
you would have the deepest problems because it would be such a intrinsic thing
It'd be
in,
such a
in the
reveal.
back of your head that everyone would think it was big, but you know it isn't. You'd pretty much be living a lie, and your personality would be so messed up because of that.
I'm gonna say
That's my penis
I'm gonna
thought.
say yes. It's still prejudice,
Yeah,
even
like
if it's statistically valid.
Yeah, I guess in general you should never make any assumption about someone.
It-
Like
but-
every person is different enough.
Although
to every
every-
other person, that you should
Everyone
just get to
totally
know.
does though.
Yeah, we definitely do.
Oh yeah, it's way too late to go back now.
It's potentially like a survival thing. The quicker you can make a judgment about whether someone is a threat
Yeah,
or
it's
whether
true.
they might do something or be something, the more chance you have of surviving. We definitely make stereotypes in our head. Like
Right.
that's definitely a human characteristic, right?
So anti-racism is almost anti-evolution.
maybe
Whoa.
anti.
Whoa.
Maybe
That
it's,
just came to me.
Whoa.
maybe it's pro thinking and like actually rising above our natural instinct.
People
Right.
with big dicks are a big threat to me. So
Are they?
yeah.
Yeah.
What?
So how's your
I'm pretty
marriage?
sure he actually is Korean, right? You're Korean, right?
Yeah.
South
So-
Korean.
Hey, where do they
That's
fall
not
in that chart?
That's not well.
Okay.
They
Show
definitely
me-
fall. On
show
that
me
chart.
The table's sliding forward
Sorry.
again.
It's my birthday.
Chris,
That tea is so close to
look
the
at
edge.
it. Look at it. Your table management skills are terrible.
I'm working on it.
I think that wraps it up.
Yeah, so my quick mini subject is websites. What the hell is the point of them? Groupsettings.info is my website.
I was like, you just
Go-
made one.
Go there to find it. I have so much personal experience with this because I spent the last 3 friggin' days setting up our website. And it's like throwing darts at a bunch of balloons, and the balloons are things that can go wrong. And you're trying to hit like a 10-cent coin size thing in the middle that'll make the website work and do exactly what you want it to do.
Sounds like a great.
But
game.
you're going to blow up every other balloon because you've got a dart with a metal tip on it that's going to hit everything else before you hit that target.
Is that why you're saying they're useless? Because it's hard?
You sound frustrated.
Okay, let me start
I
with
like
a
Wikipedia.
let me start with a question. What?
What is
Why?
a website
Why do you need a website? Convince me.
for people to go to?
Wait, what's your alternative to getting information from the internet?
So
Probably
you
like
can pretty much
the
do
top of
everything
Google.
via social media now. You really
True.
don't actually need a website.
So you're saying like have a Facebook page instead of having a website and all that sort of thing.
Totally.
Well, look, think about it this way. What's the last website you've been to?
Our
that's-
one, groupsettings.info.
That's
Let me check my.
Wikipedia.
I've been to a whole bunch of
okay.
websites.
Yeah, I've been to
Wikipedia, fair
actually.
enough.
Like, I
No,
got a
okay,
whole.
so what's the website that you've been to that isn't an app?
I go on like them all the time because I have to find papers and stuff at uni.
Well, you're researching, so that's kind of
Yes.
different. But I got.
Sorry.
So does a starting company need a website? Let's say that because that's kind of
Yes.
us.
I think so.
I think so.
Why?
Well, what is on our website?
I made it solely because groupsettings.info .com was taken. And I didn't want to put .eu or .us.
Do you think of
NZ?
Porn is a domain as well now.
What?
Is it?
Why
It gave me
It
like
got its
20
own-
options,
I think it-
and there was some
Maybe it was
random
.triple
things.
X or something.
There's dot
That
courses?
I was really close to doing .pro because I just thought that was cool.
Bro.
Groupsettings.pro. Don't remember that.
Oh, bro.
Groupsettings.info. No,
Info.
like PRO.
You need to stop saying the other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Groupsettings.info.
So
What
it's
is it?
.com?
Groupsettings.info. case-sensitive.info.
You need a
Any of
website.
those capital letters.
No.
Okay.
Can you put capital letters?
No, it's not case
No,
sensitive.
it doesn't
You know
matter.
what? Okay, hold on. Stop. Pet peeve, okay? So at my job, I have to ask for people for their email.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it is my pet peeve when people say
Lowercase.
capital M, lowercase t, or they say it's Mary Jane, or lowercase. It doesn't matter!
People actually have the name Mary Jane.
You can do that.
Listen, it doesn't matter. It does not matter.
In their defense, passwords are case sensitive and they are right next to each other.
Oh,
I didn't realize it
It's
wasn't case
tricky.
sensitive
drives
until
me
you just said that.
insane.
But couldn't you just type it in and just not care? They can say
Oh,
what they
just
Yeah,
every
you,
time
you
they
could just
open their
not be a
mouth,
knob and just,
Is it?
when they say
Is it the Indians?
when they say it,
want. Hello.
I physically want to hit them.
capital F. Is that what they say?
You can find me at India.
Is this
Kumar.
INDIA.
India.com.
Is this racist?
you actually
Very
hate
racist.
Indians.
Very racist.
Discovery number 1. Ye Chen hates Indians.
Hmm.
Groupsettings.info.
I think it's part of being Australian to bag up people for their accent.
100% it is.
Yeah.
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 I don't mind that kind of racism too much.
There is definitely
Too much.
Too
racism
much.
in like country
'Cause I do
Australia,
it.
but I feel like city Australia.
There's a massive difference between racism in here compared to Africa, America. Like I don't feel like our racism is like
It's almost a joke.
proper deep
Yeah.
seated racism.
I think that's the difference. The difference is in Australia, when you're racist, you're trying to be funny. You don't
Yeah.
actually hate that person.
That's
Yeah,
not
it's
to
like
say
a
there's
full
not
form of
racist.
There's-
Whereas in America, you literally hate that person because of their color.
Like some people, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
you go 100 k's
Yeah.
outside
One
of Sydney,
nation
you'll
just got-
find some racism.
One nation just came roaring back, so there's definitely
Pauline
a
Hanson
percentage
is
Pauline-
still a person.
She's smoking hot.
She's on fire.
Pauline.
Who's Pauline?
Pauline Hanson.
Pauline Hanson.
Who's Pauline?
Come on, mate.
No.
Did you even vote?
No.
Are you playing dumb?
Are you?
This
Who's
is,
Pauline
it's
Hanson?
your
When did
fault
you-
she's back.
When did you come to Australia?
I didn't vote. They don't
No,
let
but
me.
like when did you?
They don't vote me. Let me vote.
So have you
6
ever heard
years.
the song I Just Don't Like It?
6 years.
Can you not look at me when you sing that song?
Do you know about halal snackbacks?
Yes.
She loves them.
Okay.
No, so
I also love them.
Me growing up in Australia was a lot of like Pauline Hanson being on TV and
What-
being,
what's-
wondering
So
Yeah,
whether
you
she was-
sing up. Who is she?
You vote for her if you're a white person who thinks white people made Australia.
Oh, so she's a politician.
She's
Yeah.
a One Nation party. It's
Why
like
did you sing that
far
song?
right.
Though? Is she a singer?
She said
her
she said
her
really stupid
saying,
She's a meme.
her like, what's
Please
it called?
explain.
Slogan.
Her
Please
motto
explain.
was, I just don't like it. And she's probably talking about a black person.
Can you
It
do that?
sounds,
Can
it sounds
you
worse
please-
when she says
Can you
it.
please do
I,
that?
I just don't like
I think
it.
we found
That's
our
actually how
intro.
she
Do that once we get the camera. Go.
I just don't like it. You gotta shake the jowls when you do it. That's the key to it.
Australia used to have a White Australia policy. I think her policy is to bring it back,
Yeah.
basically.
Right.
Which is crazy because everyone thought she was like killed by somebody
It's
because
way too late.
like
There's like
Yeah.
10 million of Australians were either born born to immigrants or are immigrants.
Wait.
I'm not gonna vote.
Going
not
back,
gonna vote for
going
that.
back to websites.
we've gone back to racism again.
We've gone back to racism.
Groupsettings.info. Websites are useless unless you're trying to make an RSS feed for a podcast, which is why I made it. Next subject.
Done. So people will go to our website and there will be nothing. to
No,
see.
there'll be
there's
all the
some
episodes
text.
will be there
It's in Times
Right.
New Roman.
because I'll post the
I'm
YouTube
not sure
links
how I feel
there.
about that.
But you're much better off going to group settings on YouTube and subscribing.
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 Subscribe.
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 I
Like
love-
and subscribe.
I love
Please share with your
websites.
friends. Subject number 3
Websites are dope.
is
Yeah, I like websites.
Yutchins.
Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all.
Okay.
Hey, Jay, what team are you on?
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba, Team Valor.
So unfortunate.
So
Red
bad.
team.
That's so unfortunate.
So
For-
bad.
Can you please not sing
Life.
copyrighted songs on this podcast, please?
Yeah.
I don't want
It's
to get
sideways.
flagged.
Yeah, nice. All trace.
How do you get that?
Right.
Oh, did you just get a screenshot of it? I freaking love Articuno. That's why I picked Blue.
Yeah, I know, right?
You guys,
There's 5
I
Pokemon
can't believe.
all over the
Moltres
place.
is so freaking lame.
Listen
Have
to
you
the
looked-
word.
That symbol's alright,
please,
but have you seen
listen.
an actual picture of
Oh my
Moltres?
gosh, it just
Oh
clicked
my
into
gosh.
me that the 3 colours line up with them.
Yeah,
When
that's
you
what
pick
the
it,
logos
there's a
are.
bird.
It's the 3 legendary birds.
I'm sorry, I need to process this.
Which, by the way, inside info, you can't catch them.
Obviously,
How are you gonna
they're
get-
legendary.
So the legendary 3 Pokemon plus Mew and Mewtwo, you can only catch at Pokemon Go events.
So So you can catch
I
them.
heard you can catch Mew at New York.
Not true.
It's not out yet.
Oh.
That was like a rumor that it would be.
So
There's so many
rumours.
fake rumors in this
There
damn
are
game.
so
they
many
didn't
fake
explain
rumors.
anything about the damn game when they released
Yeah,
it.
just dropped it. They didn't even tell
Everyone
anyone.
just figured everything out for themselves.
Which
You know
I've
that?
heard. I've heard a lot of things that are just not true.
It's
I'm just gonna-
outrageous.
Okay,
stupid.
so let me start by saying this. I love that they released the game with pretty much no instructions.
Yeah.
Because right now it's like
Well,
figuring out how to play the
professor-
game is part of the game.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's very basic instructions, but like where you throw the Pokeballs or the way the rings work, like there's no instructions.
Yeah.
And
Well,
you kind of have to guess.
I have a question. I've read this that the developers said this, but me and Chris have argued over it constantly because we work together, so we play a lot of Pokemon Go together. We drop lures together. Sidetrack. There is a street on the way to our work that I caught 4 Eevees in a gap of 10 minutes today.
No.
And
That has nothing to do with the debate.
I am going back there tomorrow.
We're going
I'm-
tonight.
Can you take
After
can
this.
You take my phone?
We're going.
I'll just strap some phones to me.
There's three
Pokeballs.
There's 3 Pokestops.
I'll just strap phones to me and
There's
flick
a
my
bunch
balls.
of 3 there
Really?
that always have lures.
Can you
at
activate
them.
all 3 if you stand in the middle of the 3?
Don't you just walk between them?
That's a good question. It'd be great if we could look that up. We can't. But you know what you can look up? Groupsettings.info.
Oh my god.
But there's nothing there.
Go on.
Why would you go there if you're already watching this?
No, every-
there.
Or listening
It's
to
like
this?
the episodes of it.
Yeah, everything that we
Everything's
post will
there.
be there.
Yes, but if someone's watching...
But
or
if you're
listening-
watching this
What
already,
if
Yeah,
what if
there's
we
no
post
point.
a photo?
but what if they're watching it on YouTube and want to subscribe on iTunes, which you totally can do.
On
iTunes.
group settings.
Group settings.info.
Oh right, I missed my own plug.
One chance.
He set it up.
Continue
It was like
with your
T-ball. It was like T-ball that
I
he
was
missed.
like, yeah.
His story was he's trying to catch Pokemon. He holds it down. Circle gets bigger and smaller. You aim for the small circle.
No, you aim for the biggest circle.
That is
No.
bullcrap.
You aim
No,
for the
you
small
aim for-
circle.
You aim for the
Small.
biggest.
Yeah.
Trust me.
If
No,
you,
no,
If
but-
you hit it inside the small one, it says great. If you hit it inside the big one, it says nice.
But you think great means, oh yeah, you're going to catch it better. But great actually means you might get some more experience.
Yeah, but
No,
that's
Which
no, no,
what
no,
it
no,
would
no,
give
no.
you more experience because you did it better.
Yeah, it's
No,
a
no,
good
no.
throw.
You have to throw it. I know all of the internet, it says it has to be small.
Including the developers.
The
I just want
developers
you to
said
acknowledge
that. Hey,
He
hey.
said that?
What do they know?
Well, he must be
Developers
right.
said.
That's why I
Okay,
find it
I'm
hard.
wrong. I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I didn't realize.
Finish. No, finish.
it's like the one thing
Wait,
the
so
developers have
so
actually
you-
said.
You want to argue
Yeah.
against the developer, is what you're saying?
No, I'm for.
No, he
He's
says-
against.
No, I'm for it. You get the small one because you get
Who is
bonus
small?
experience.
Yeah,
Wait,
You
so
s-
is everyone just converted to being small now?
Oh, well, I was
Yeah,
always
right.
small.
I was kind of born small.
what's
It's
changed?
not part of
Your
it.
game is surprisingly big.
I was,
after this
yeah.
conversation.
Mine's a curveball.
Right.
Have you guys thrown a curveball?
Yeah.
Oi,
Spin that thing.
I
Throw it
was
to the
throwing them all
side.
the time
I have a
until I
genuine
ran out.
question. Do you find that great balls just go to the left and right without any inkling?
There's wind. So if you
No.
see the leaves behind your
There's
Pokemon,
wind?
Yeah, you gotta
The
watch the
leaves
leaves,
look
bro.
like
You see, this is part of the
Are
game.
you actually asking that?
You
That
have
hasn't
to-
I
affected you
have
yet?
no idea.
There's a pretty funny.
You're further on than any of us.
18.
you definitely should be getting some serious wind. in you.
Wind?
Yeah.
Wait, does the wind get
Do
stronger
you ever
the more
like
you level up?
do you ever just flick the ball and you think
And it
you've
just
done
goes.
If
it
you've got
straight and it just
augmented
goes?
reality turned off, it doesn't affect it.
Oh, okay,
No, it
that's
does.
off.
There's still leaves in the background.
Is it?
I have it off.
I know because
Right.
my phone always freezes and the only thing moving are the leaves.
I feel like
I
great
always-
balls are definitely more affected by wind because
I
I always
always,
miss with the great ball.
I always
Yeah.
throw curveballs, so maybe that's why I haven't realised.
Right.
Yeah, that'll
'cause
do
they're
it.
less susceptible to
Maybe.
the wind, or it's harder to notice. I think when it's
Maybe.
like. Why do you always throw curveballs though?
Extra
Makes it-
10 XP.
More XP, but the
That
other...
doesn't seem worth it.
Yeah,
I'd rather
but-
You
hit
get
it
you get
right on the
50
thing.
for the little circle.
If you get excellent,
Do
it's
you?
100.
If you what, sorry?
If you get an excellent, it's 100.
How do you get an excellent?
I don't think
When
I've
it says excellent.
In the small
I've
circle.
never gotten.
You, of course you've never got a small,
I'm always aiming for the big
Is it
circle.
like a millimeter?
which makes it easier,
You can get
but you don't
this-
get extra
Right.
experience.
But you get a better
Okay.
chance of catching it if it's small. But you can get an excellent by hitting it on a certain spot on the Pokemon.
No way.
Like right in the middle of the
It's
circle.
whatever it defines as the middle as well. I don't know what the middle is because I've hit him right on the nose. It wasn't excellent.
I got that today. It hit it right in
I'm
front
like,
and
where
it
is
bounced
mine
straight back.
below?
So, the question that we're going to ask right now, and that it's going to come back next week. How many people do you think are going to have died from this game before next week's podcast?
It's a very morbid bet.
Has anyone died already?
Yeah.
Really?
What?
I don't know.
No,
I just said
Yes. I don't
Drama.
That's very confident.
Oh yeah.
It's so confident because
Definitely be.
I've almost died 4 times using this.
Yeah.
While driving or something?
Yes.
No.
Do not
Don't do
Pokemon
that.
and drive.
We don't Pokemon and drive.
We do not.
But if
Do
I
not
did,
Pokemon
I
and
almost died twice.
If I did,
would've.
if I did, I probably would have scratched the front of my car going through a drive-thru. But I didn't.
It is bad
That
because
sucks. You scratch your car?
yeah, what can you do?
Down? That's so gross.
Yeah,
Don't
it's
touch
really
it.
bad.
That's so lame. Why do you have that?
We're winners,
What does
alright?
that say about you as a person?
Moltres.
In the darkest night,
It's not even spelled correctly.
we are the flame.
Valor.
That is
The
spelled
U
correctly.
there.
No, there isn't.
It is.
It's
in the
American.
Australian one, there is.
That's American.
Isn't it Japanese? What does Japanese do?
They don't.
They
They don't,
write it in
they,
Japanese.
they don't even have the game yet.
I guess you're right.
They have their own language.
But you know what they wouldn't spell in Japanese? Group
Group
settings.
settings dot info. I got you. Okay, I have something
I was gonna
interesting to
say
bring up.
Porygon.
Bring it. Bring it.
I have
Bring
something
it.
interesting to bring up. So,
They don't have L's, do they?
No, that's why Porygon.
if
Porygon,
you
yeah.
if you know me, which most of you don't,
Hi, yeah, Chan, I'm Ali.
hello. One of the biggest things is I love to. What's going on? Oh my goodness.
It's good.
Low
It's good.
power.
How you
One of the things I
metaphor for all of these.
Yeah.
okay, so one of the things that I always do is jailbreak my phone,
Mm.
right? So controversy. Whoa.
Is it?
I bet.
Contra.
I bet you pirate movies as well.
No.
Just Game of Thrones. Right?
Anyway.
Anyways, I'm gonna come back to that.
That's a whole nother subject.
But
for
I
another day.
always have jailbroken phones and I have rooted Android devices and things like that. You know, like even when I was in high school, I bought
He means broken.
Is rooted a term for Android devices?
being jailbroken. Yes.
Oh, is that a
That is
thing?
the first time
Yes.
I've ever
I thought you
heard
mean
that.
like rooted as in it's broken.
No, it's
No,
not
no.
like you got root access. to it.
Exactly.
Australian colloquialism is I rooted something means I just messed it up or I
Or
had sex with it.
One of those.
Well, a bit of both, really.
Yeah.
But what does it mean for Korean Australians?
I'm lost.
Well, you just said it has a different meaning.
Shut up again.
Right, so you're jailbreaking.
Okay,
things.
so
Go on.
I'm always jailbroken. I'm always rooted.
I was saying, what does that mean?
Is that actually the term?
It is the term.
Wait,
root access. Okay.
So that's like jailbreaking
So-
an Android.
I know about root folders. Do you know why I know that?
What?
Groupsettings.info. You put all the files in the root folder. That's how you get WordPress in it.
Okay, whatever that means.
That's for free.
Don't tell them your
Okay.
secrets.
So even when I was in school, you know, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, like I hacked and, you know, did all that stuff for every device I own. I love to do it.
How did that make you
Did
feel?
you
Because-
have like a imported one that you hacked?
Exactly. Or I hacked it myself.
Because you do that on PS2 and you get all the games early.
Exactly.
Okay.
I opened up my PSP, like I replaced the battery to a special one, all this kind of stuff. Anyway, so the reason I'm bringing this up is with Pokemon Go, there is an app in the jailbreak world.
On the dark web.
Not
Is that
quite,
what it's called?
but in the jailbreak world, where basically the whole point of the game is that you have to physically go to places.
Mm.
Right.
So there's an app that lets you change your GPS location,
Ah.
which basically allows you to go to anywhere in the world.
How do you feel that you're ruining the best thing that's happened to
Well,
the
let me.
human race in 10 years?
Here's why I'm bringing this up, because that exists in both Android and Apple. So obviously there are people who do it for, you know, because they want to get the easy way out. But
Criminals exist. You're
exactly. But the real side of it is, what about people who live in remote places where there's no Pokestops
Like
or,
Kellyville.
or no Pokegems? Yeah,
Right.
or
I
like
can't believe you're trying to make me feel sorry for people who don't live near Pokestops.
no. What about people who live
Pokestops.
in like the middle of the outback?
Right.
There
They've
are
got
no-
Ayers Rock, man.
there are
Just
no
chill at Ayers
Pokestops.
Rock.
Hey, just having a
There
poker.
are no Pokestops. There are no Pokegems.
That could be the new term. It's like, you want to get outside for a pogo?
Well, what are you supposed to do?
That works really well.
Plus-
actually.
Yeah.
Let me
That works
let
too
me
well.
Drop a
make it
lure.
real. What about people who are immobile?
Are you asking if it's okay for them to do it?
No, what I'm asking is like, yes, it's a bad thing because it ruins the game, or sort
It
of.
only runs it for them though.
But the other thing is like,
Doesn't it?
should
It encourages them to come to a normal city like Sydney.
shouldn't it exist so that people who are not mobile can also play the game? What if you don't have feet?
Yeah, I get what you mean, but that's kind of...
You could just buy the original Pokemon game on a game.
That's not Pokemon Go.
This same thing came out when The Witness came out, was because it's like a puzzle game. And people were hating on it because if you were colorblind, you couldn't solve all the puzzles.
Yeah.
It's like,
Ooh.
piss off. Like, as if, what? As if you're going to make a game
Yeah, it's
and
like-
compromise it because
Is it
1% is colorblind.
Well,
Is
no,
it not
here's the
pretty
thing.
easy though to do it?
Yeah, just freaking Google it.
Well, here's the thing. Uncharted, when it came out, actually had a different mode for people who
Yeah, most
couldn't actually, because there's a part of the game where you have to mash the button.
Mm.
And for people who can't do that, you can change the mode into where you just hold it down.
Right.
Because if if your hands aren't as mobile as
So
others,
did
then
you use that mode?
I wasn't expecting that. That was really funny.
I feel like it's
Used it.
I feel like it's completely irrelevant. It's
Use
like
that mode,
saying,
didn't
why
you?
don't we make every game for blind people,
Yeah, like,
handicapped
why don't we
people,
make VR
deaf
for blind
people? Yeah.
Because it wouldn't work, Yay-chan.
It would
I
work.
think,
Yeah,
I think I'm on
Would
Ye
work.
Chan's side. in
Why don't we
this
make Wii Fit
because
for
it would make you feel really
amputees?
left out if you were
It
like in the
would.
middle of nowhere.
If
I
the whole
agree.
world is playing Pokemon Go, which they are,
Yeah,
Right.
and you're the one guy who is...
but maybe they.
It's
could
the
just-
fundamental point of the game is getting fat people outside, which me and you, it has done very well.
Could they not just generate more Pokestops that aren't necessarily linked to a like? So say there's an area with a player that doesn't have lots of Pokestops.
Well,
Couldn't
look, if
they
you're in
just
a
go,
wheel-
oh, there's a player there. Maybe we should drop some more around. They can just be random.
Well, I don't know.
So is your question that we shouldn't be saying, boo, this cheating is bad?
No, I don't have a question. I just want, I just
So-
want to know.
so you're saying
okay,
you are a
this
question.
thing exists. What are we going to do about
Is
it?
it okay?
Well,
Well,
no,
what do we
It's
think?
fine. The only
Well,
person who
there's
uses
nothing we
it
can do about
It's the
it.
person who uses it. It's
Well, you know
the
what? John
person
has a
who-
good point. The only person that the game is ruined for is that person.
I'm not bothered by people who have
But the-
really good characters.
but the
Unless they
downside-
take my gym across the road like
Well, that's
that
the
bloody
thing.
yellow team.
The downside is, what if some dude rocks up with a CP4000 Blastoise that he hacked that he didn't earn?
I feel like
I'd just go to a different
they
gym.
could find that
Yeah.
pretty easily and ban you quite easily.
At the moment, there's no permanent ban.
At the moment, but like
I
But
feel
It's
like-
so big they'll have to police it. 'cause
the combat isn't fun enough for that to be an issue to me. Like there's
Yeah.
no PvP.
There
Like,
will
I'm not
be.
versing someone directly. Yeah, I guess I can deal with that when it comes up. But
And-
like,
I have that problem already with people who aren't cheating.
I can
so.
choose not to fight
Yeah.
someone who's got a CP 4000
True,
like
very
monster.
true.
I'll just be like, nah, I'm gonna go somewhere
No,
else.
thanks.
And then that person can't play with anyone anyway. So what's the point of having something that's way
When-
stronger than everyone else?
when the gym next to my work is taken by another team that has something like 1500 power, it is so bloody depressing. So if there was one with
Burp.
4,000 power at next to my work, because it's between the cafe at my work and my work, so it's like perfectly positioned.
Amazing.
It just ruined me.
I mean, I think
That's
the
what I
best-
mean. Think about it.
Yeah.
I think the best response though would just be to leave it and go to a different gym.
It
As
do-
much as
yeah,
sucks.
that doesn't ruin me. That's
That's
like,
what I mean. Is like I'm stuck there for like 10 hours a day.
Yeah,
I can't
I
even
understand
own
that.
the gym.
but isn't the point of the game to go out?
See, now you're
Yes,
saying
I
that
guess-
it's
I
bad,
guess.
whereas before you're saying we should let these paraplegics
Well,
have it.
The thing is, it's hard to control who
It's
uses
not just
it.
paraplegic.
Okay, the people with no feet. Sorry.
But it's hard to
There's
police
no-
who gets
they
to
have
use it
the
and who
people that
doesn't.
can move.
Okay, the mobility impaired.
He's
So
talking
a
about
Poke-
people who don't live near Pokestops.
He also said people with no
Yeah,
feet.
he
That's
did.
true.
There was a lot of issues
That's
raised.
true. Yeah.
Okay, I live somewhere with very few Pokestops. It's
Yeah.
far from the city or crowded areas.
Yeah.
Like,
How
just
far are you from roads?
pretty far.
But you're not in the middle of the desert, is what I'm saying. Like, what if you had to drive 13 hours to the nearest Pokestop?
I'm
Are
pretty sure they
people's
have bigger
houses in the
problems
desert?
than Pokemon Go.
Yeah, I feel like to live out there, you're not gonna.
You're giving up a lot of things.
Yeah,
I
you
think
know.
Pokemon's probably the last thing on that list.
Yeah, they
If
know.
you have
Things that
internet,
you're
you're
giving up.
staying inside your house and playing Overwatch or something. You're not going out into the desert. And
There's actually really big problems in rural Australia with like
Pokemon.
suicide rates.
Mm.
Oh.
And Pokemon.
It doesn't really
You know
come
what?
up yet, but
I
I assume
would-
there is too.
I would not be surprised if the two are linked.
Yeah, Chan has a
but what
solution.
if they got
They
Pokemon
are,
Go and they're
because-
like, to get more Pokemon, I'm going to have to go to a more populated area and thus do not commit suicide.
They've already found that Pokemon Go, because it gets people out of the house, actually helps with depression and stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've seen
Wow.
some people, judge me for saying this, but I've seen some people who should not be outside, be outside. And I almost cried because it was so beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Was it
as soon as I got it, I called my brother, who doesn't exercise. Probably should.
It's not Yay-Chan.
He's cool. He's cool.
It's not me.
And I said, bro, you need to get this game and get outside with your kid and go on adventures. Because they love all that crap, but they don't go outside enough.
Yeah.
And they go on outside and walking about. I feel like the only people who think this game is stupid are people who fundamentally don't understand.
Oh, it's a fantastic
The
game.
people who think games cause violence.
Or they've tried to walk along a path and just been blocked by all these people playing like Pokemon Go, and it's, you know how annoying that gets when you have somewhere to be and like there's people walking
It's
slowly in
awesome.
front of you.
We went past 3 people. I'm not going to say what race they are. And
Yeah, Chan.
they were all 3
That's not a
Yay-Chans.
race.
So there was 3 Yay-Chans sitting on
No,
the
there was 1.5. Yeah.
Oh,
He's not a Pokemon.
Just
That's
because she
not
was a
a
woman
species.
doesn't mean she's half a person.
Wow, I can't believe you just said that.
He
Yes.
said it. I'm
It
just
means-
Wow, I wasn't talking about her. I was talking
Yeah,
about
okay,
Yachan.
we can
Moving along.
It means she's like 3/4 of the person.
She was pretty short. Anyway.
You know, that pay grade. Anyway.
Oh man.
Different
Anyway.
subject.
Let's not get into that, please.
There was 3 Yay-Chans and we went past, and this guy said it a little bit curmudgeonly. I was actually worried. He's like, "You better not be taking our gym."
What? I did not.
In his white Australian
I was
voice.
super friendly. They were,
No, you
okay,
said
they
it
were,
like that.
Were
they
they
were-
definitely playing
they
Pokemon
were
Go?
obviously playing Pokemon.
And then I said, "Hey, you guys, blue team, trying to like dissipate
It wasn't
that
that
aggressive energy."
Smooth
Chris.
They laughed.
That-
They
that
laughed.
speed up.
And then one of them was like, "Yeah," and the other one was like, and I'm like, "Get out of my street."
Get off my turf.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I was like,
Get out
this
of my
is blue
house.
team.
Team Mystic.
This is my house.
They laughed.
But you get more XP when you take it off a different team.
Team Bala.
Shouldn't you be happy if someone else takes it?
I was just trying to make
Because
friends.
We're not 1600 CP and it's in the city. We can't freaking get anything.
Yeah.
You know these kids are on school holidays right now. There's just no competing. They're actually taking the train with all of their
And Yay-Chan.
battery charges.
Mm.
And Yay-Chan.
I'm there.
I can't believe you thought I was aggressive.
Have you gone to the Opera House yet?
Yep.
Okay. What did you catch there?
Pikachu.
Oh, I got a Pikachu.
The city is like rife with lures.
I'm
all the
there
time.
tomorrow.
And they have really rare
for uni.
Pokemon too. I think they drop rare.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Here's another thing that the developers dropped. The number of people playing in an area affects what Pokemon
Yeah, it's
show
the
up.
populace.
So
the
if
more
there's 1,000
populated
people in one spot,
It'll be more random.
yeah. So the reason Rhodes is so good is not because of the location.
Guys, the gym just got emptied.
Oh my gosh. So basically,
We've got to get there.
there's one park with 3 Pokestops, and if
Yeah.
you light up all 3 glurs, they all stack.
I
So-
was there. Yes.
So that's
I
that's.
was there last night.
So basically, it started because that was a good,
Yeah.
you know, like a good spot.
Yeah.
But because it got famous, or I guess popular, and everyone started going there.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's just going to get
now,
worse and worse.
Well,
well,
now
well,
there's
now
heaps of
because there's so
people
many people
there.
there, even better Pokemon spawn
Dude, there
now.
was so many good ones.
Have
yesterday.
cops
Yeah,
like
it's
started
crazy.
policing it?
Yeah, there were cops.
Well, there were noise complaints, like
Where's
neighbours
Rhodes?
complaining.
It's a
So
train
one
station,
of the guys
right?
we know got hit in the head with a water balloon.
Awesome.
Oh, I heard about that.
That's
Yeah, he was the guy who got hit.
That's awesome.
He was like the only one.
That's
Got
fine.
hit in the head.
Is
That's
his phone
awesome.
okay?
It hurt him because it was from like the top of one of the apartments.
Friggin' Blastoise.
This spot's like surrounded by apartments.
Why didn't you invite us?
Freaking blast.
The first thing I caught there was a Pikachu. Literally the
I think
first
it was
Pokemon I found.
Man.
there
Pikachu's
was a
awesome.
Pikachu.
Okay, quick round. Favorite Pokemon? Go.
That you've caught.
No, just in general.
Oh man.
Scyther. No
yeah,
question.
Scyther's pretty awesome.
For life.
That's your favorite Pokemon?
Ever.
Frick.
In all of
Come back
history.
to me.
That's such a hard
Go,
question.
come
It's
on.
definitely not Doduo. I'll tell you that. I've stopped even.
Okay,
trying to
hold
think.
on.
Do you know how much Dodo candy I have? Guess.
Listen,
500.
Doduo.
is it Doduo or is it just Dodo?
I think it's
There's
Dodo.
a- there's-
Doduo! There's a U!
Yeah, but I think
It's
are you
not
supposed to
silent.
say Dodo? Like a Dodo
The actual
bird.
bird of Dodo is Dodo.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
Do you know how Pokemon
Pokemon.
works? They take a thing and they make it
It's
a
a
little
pun.
bit different.
It's a
Yeah.
pun.
So Dodo is the
It's-
thing, so
they
it's not a
just-
pun.
it's
They
not
just
actually called
anti-copyright it, so they
No,
changed it a
it's a
little bit.
Dodo with 2 heads. That's why it's called Do.
Duo.
Yeah, but that's
I
why
know.
you say Doduo.
And then it
You
evolves
don't just
into
say
Do-
Dodo.
Do-
I never made
Yeah,
that
so why would you call it Dodo? Because it's got 2 heads.
All the names are puns.
So I feel like what you're saying
So
is
it's
an
the-
argument.
Unless you're catching
for
an
Doduo.
extinct
You're
bird.
arguing against yourself again.
Yeah.
So it is Doduo.
Yeah.
It's Doduo. You have a small penis. Let's move on. Wait, what's my favorite Pokemon?
Tyranitar's pretty good.
Articuno. Yeah, I think it'd be
Articuno.
Yeah.
Okay. Jarrett?
I think my favorite one to see run away is a Magikarp because it just raises so many questions
It's
when you
so
see
annoying,
that cloud
man.
appear and you're like, how did it do that?
How did you?
How did you do
I could be on board with
It's
that.
like I only
What are you
need
doing?
380 more of you to get a bloody Gyarados.
And it was a level 10. I had
And
level
you
10,
CP30
run
Magikarp
away.
is escaping from me, from my Great Ball in berries.
My favorite Pokemon will have to be Raichu.
Yeah.
Oh,
right,
what?
just-
Raichu is a great
No,
Pokemon.
Raichu's a
Really?
Oi, when it's a question mark over the CP, does that just mean it's huge?
No,
Yeah,
it just means you don't know.
it should mean it's high though. Usually they're
'Cause
higher. Yeah.
I
Whenever
Chris-
it's happened to me, they were high for my level.
There we go.
Like they were.
Chris was with me when I just got devastated by this, but what's the lava one?
Magma.
Fire-
Magma.
Magma.
Come on. It's Magma.
Yeah.
But it's
Dragonite's
Magma.
pretty good.
He,
So do you,
It's a pun.
so do you say magma or magma?
It's Magma.
It's a good question.
It's
I don't
Doduo,
actually know.
alright? We cleared that up.
And
You
I was
say
I was
Pikachu or
like,
Pikachu?
oh, awesome, the magma, and it's got a question mark. It's got to be like 6,000 or something. And the circle was red. You know when the circle
Oh,
was
you know it's
really
good.
dark red.
That's when you know.
So did you get him?
I did not. I missed it with 4 Great Balls, but because for some reason Great Balls spin off to the left and right willy nilly.
Check that wind.
Did you chuck raspberries?
Yes, 3.
You mean
Do you have
raspberry?
an Ultra Ball? Because you
I
might
mean,
have needed a
ras-
Ultra Ball.
Berry.
It's
If
a
it-
it's a
if it was
pun.
still-
It's a pun, yeah.
If it was still red when you were throwing a Great Ball, you probably needed an Ultra Ball.
You don't have Ultra Balls yet.
Yeah,
No.
You gotta
So-
hit
I don't-
level 20.
I don't even have great balls.
What level are you?
Okay, my theory is the question mark appears if it's a higher level than any of your ones. Because when I have caught one, it was a higher level than any of the
Yeah.
ones that I had. So I think it's saying you can't.
I
work
think
out what it
I
is.
think your level actually has a like a correlating what your catch should be.
100% it
Yeah,
does.
definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah,
But you
that's-
can still go.
So
you
if
can
it's
still
if
get
it's above
bottom ones,
that,
but you'll get
yeah,
higher
it'll be a
ones.
question mark. Yeah.
I can't believe anyone likes Raichu.
Raichu is the best Pokemon.
Is it because of that episode in Pokemon when he
Probably.
had to, like, evolve it? And
Yeah.
he didn't want to do it?
Why would? Yeah.
Because like
I think
Raichu
it is
like the
actually.
death
I was always like, yeah,
It is.
yeah,
That is what
get
I
a
associate it
Raichu.
with.
Here's
Because
why I love it.
I played the game first and I was like, Raichu's stronger, just get a Raichu.
No, but Raichu was a douche to Pikachu.
Here's why I love it. Okay, so I grew up watching what everybody watched, Ash Ketchum and
Right.
Misty and Brock and
Yeah.
that series.
Naturally.
But then, in high school, my Asian instincts kicked in, and I started reading the manga, right? Which is a lot closer to the story of the original games.
Hang on.
There's a manga.
There's a
Hang on.
manga. And it's not...
He actually is right about that one.
And the story is a lot closer to Pokemon Blue, Red, Green, that kind of original story.
Yeah.
So his first Pokemon is actually...
There's a green?
So, no, there's no green. Red, blue, yellow. But his first
There is.
Pokemon...
There's
again.
green later on.
Again, those 3 colors.
That's right, yeah.
There's a
But
pattern here
Wasn't
somewhere.
it red, blue, and yellow?
Yellow was a bit later.
yellow was later
He
where
just said
Pikachu
that.
followed you around.
Yeah.
But in the manga, it gets to sort of similar point where Pikachu's there and they've got a Thunderstone and he's like, what are we going to do?
Mm.
And Ash in the manga basically says, nah, I'm not going to evolve you. And then Pikachu picks up the stone himself, smashes it into his body, and turns into a Raichu.
Okay, hang on. Can you do that again? Because Pikachu's hands are actually like this.
So he like grabs,
I feel like it's.
grabs it.
I feel like it's not going to be as dramatic as you made it sound.
Are you sure he didn't just headbutt it?
Grabs the Thunderstone and just goes, Dush! And then he's like, Psh!
How do you know it did that if it was like
Turns into
a
a Raichu.
manga? Manga.
Mongo.
Just say mango.
That sounds like a Pokemon.
You're Australian.
Manga.
Manga. It
Magma.
sounds like you're making fun of Asian people if you say it like that.
Manga.
I was reading manga.
It sounds like you're trying to make it way cooler than it is.
Like, I'm trying.
Yeah, I don't
I'm,
care
I'm,
about all of that.
I'm genuinely
Okay,
trying
so
to say
Raichu
it. I
That's
can't
why I
do
love
it.
Raichu.
Pikachu.
That's why I love Raichu. I love
Right.
Raichu and I love
Okay.
Poly...
What?
Poliwag.
Well-
the first one.
Wag.
Poliwag.
The little
Poliwag.
tadpole.
Because in the manga...
Manga. Say
Manga.
Say manga.
Manga.
Say
In
manga.
the manga,
Manga.
he also had a Poliwell. So...
Okay.
Who cares about that? Charmeleon. Oh,
I just want to friggin'
That's a
Hitmonlee. I haven't seen any. Have you seen any of them?
No.
No Hitmonlees, no Hitmonchans. How racist is
So
that name?
so no one has them at all.
Okay, so the two
It's
Pokemon...
Jackie Chan and Hitmonlee. Isn't that like...
Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee.
That's like homage though. That's not racist.
that's awesome.
Yeah. I feel like that's not.
in America,
It's two
it'd be
actors.
racist.
But it's like 2 actors who are like.
Well,
And they're both
then
Asian, made by
America's
an
wrong.
Asian game.
That's true.
Did it evolve into anything in the later?
That'd be like
ones?
us
don't
making.
think so.
That'd be like
Always
us
say
making a
Hitmonlee.
kangaroo one called Kanka Kelly.
Kangaskhan? Khan?
Kangaskhan.
No, because it's like an Australian hero you're putting into a Pokemon.
Guys,
so it's like
the
a
only
good thing.
the
Oh,
racist
you,
one
are
is
you talking about
Jinx.
Ned Kelly?
Yeah.
Jinx.
Jinx.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a black girl.
The
It's like a
original-
gollywog.
The Nicki
original
Minaj
Jinx
one.
In Japan,
It's just
actually
blackface.
black. It has really big lips.
Yeah.
It's like
Nicki
a
Minaj.
stereotype.
It was in Australia too.
It's got
Oh,
a
yeah.
weave. It's actually meant to be like a stereotypical black.
It's like a.
It's just a black lady.
Yeah, it's a
I always
gollywog.
thought it was like a tranny when I was growing up because it has like the over excessive
Oh,
makeup.
her and Mr. Mime. Oh,
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 so creepy.
It could also be Mr. Popo in drag.
That's true. Mr. Popo freaked me the hell out.
Dragon
Oh
Ball.
my gosh, that just went somewhere.
way.
Wow,
That
I was like,
out of left
what?
field.
What kind of Pokemon is Mr. Popo?
That's a good question.
Where do you catch them?
It's
He
the
probably
Popo.
He probably
That's
is a
awesome.
Pokemon.
Have you watched
Can
DBZ
you imagine
Abridged?
if they made one that you could find Dragon Balls in?
So bad.
Different
Oh.
subject.
The world.
Yeah,
Dragon Ball Z Bridge is amazing.
Mr. Popo.
different subject.
Anyway,
But if you have 4 hours after you watch this, go watch Dragon Ball Z Abridged if you haven't.
and go to.
Okay, so next point. There are rumors that by the end of the year,
Hmm.
they will be introducing Johto Pokemons.
I hope
what
not.
is that?
Yeah.
Johto is
Then-
153.
That's-
Where he gets on the Lapras and goes to
Second
the different
gen.
islands.
That's silver and gold.
Second
I
gen.
remember that
Right,
part of the
okay.
show.
I don't.
I want it because I love
Silver and
Cyndaquil.
gold. No.
I don't know if this is like me or as an actual thing, but it seems like after the original 150, the look changed
It definitely did.
and it got more Japanese.
I'm okay with the second gen. First and second gen is okay. After that,
They
I'm
start
starting
getting
to
really,
get
they,
lost.
they start getting really
Yeah.
What
jagged,
does second
eh?
go up to? 250.
Yeah.
And that stupid heart-shaped fish.
Ooh.
Once that's in the game, I'm stopping playing.
I used to be like that. I used to be like red, blue. I played red, blue, silver, and gold for about 10 years, and I
silver
didn't go
gold
any
is
further.
Okay. Yeah, that's
But-
fine.
In the last 4 years, I've gone
Togepi's
back.
alright,
I've played
I like
all of them.
Have you?
Yeah, they're so good.
But they look weird.
It's Pokemon.
They turned into like they almost
That's a
look
good
like
point.
Digimon.
That is
There's
actually
like
a good point.
fairy types.
It's so good.
Isn't there a Pokemon that looks like a cell
it's
phone?
too complicated.
There's
It's-
fairy types now.
It's still.
Clefairy's a fairy
I don't
type.
think it counts as a
Clefairy is not a fairy type. Clefairy is a normal
Like it
type.
probably is in
Oh,
the
is it?
latest iteration.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
okay.
now
Because there is no fairy type in the first gen. Like there's no steel type, all that kind of
But
stuff.
but there is in the game. There's steel attacks. My Dodrio has like a steel attack.
Yeah.
But I don't think
Like
the
the types
Pokemon
are-
isn't classified as a steel type Pokemon.
No, but the attacks are, and they'll be effective against whatever.
Exactly.
It's like
Which I think is
fairies are
there
effective against
because
dragon.
because they're planning to implement Johto.
Are you guys finding that types don't make any bloody difference when you're actually fighting a gym?
I have no
No,
idea
they
what's
do.
going on in battles.
They do.
No, they make a little bit of difference. It is really.
But
hard
like
to
not
solve
enough
it.
to be like interesting. I'm finding like it's if you're like 50 under and you're the type to kill it, it'll work. But if you're like any more than that, it just like doesn't matter. Which actually annoys me.
Also
That's one of the annoyances.
depends on the
with it.
move set.
I feel like you should be able to be like half the like strength of it, and if I'm a Squirtle going against a Charmander, I should freaking smash it.
If you have the right move, you could have.
Like I
Well,
wouldn't move
in
it.
Slash.
in the original
Yeah,
games,
true,
I
you
think
could
it's
have a
supposed to be
normal
double,
type.
right? You're supposed to be able to do double damage.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's 2 times.
But I don't know if it works. Like
Who knows
It
how
just
the
seems like
ratios
it's
work?
way
They're-
more about combat power than type.
It depends
yeah.
on the type of your attack too, because Squirtle can have a normal type
Yeah.
attack.
It could
You
have
got tackle.
It could have tackle, and then it'll have a special one, but it could still
Yeah.
be a normal.
If
or
it's
a-
doing like Water Blast, it definitely should be really
Yeah.
effective. So if that's not effective, then I totally agree with
So before they get Johto, I don't care about that. They'll bring them in eventually. Cool,
They have
awesome.
to.
They need to fix the bugs, fix the
Oh.
crashes, get some trading,
Oh,
get
yeah.
PvP.
You two have
that already-
iPhone 4s, so you have even more
It's
trouble than we have.
Five,
This app
but-
is-
Oh,
okay,
5, sorry.
Still terrible.
This app is a testament to how much people love Pokemon because it
Oh my
crashes
gosh.
every 2 minutes, and we are still willing
to
to
play
take it, get extra batteries,
That's right.
and go and play it for hours.
I've never hated a game so much and needed
and
to
been
play it.
unable to not play
This
it.
stat is from the internet, so take it with salt.
I'll just go get some.
It says they say like it's got more than any social media already.
Well,
Bigger than Twitter on
more downloads on
Android.
Twitter and more active users, and longer screen time than Instagram and Facebook.
But has the
that
actual
makes sense.
company said that, or is that?
I think
'Cause
the
it's-
App Store can say that. I think the App Store said it was more downloads.
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
It downloaded
Google
more
Play
Twitter.
you can get the stats of, but can you get iOS stats?
I'm sure Apple would have it.
Yeah, well they're not going to tell anyone because they're bloody Apple.
Everyone's reporting it like they actually would have found out.
Never know. It's the
You
internet.
I find with internet news, they report on someone else who reported it, on someone else who
I
reported
definitely
it.
heard the Twitter one on a proper news site.
Yeah.
But they also tend to report stuff that's just on the internet.
I actually had one calculated that was more than Tinder, but that's an easy one because of course there's more than Tinder.
Or
Gotta
swiping
catch
as
'em
well.
all.
All those STDs. Not everyone on Tinder has STDs.
What?
I don't know why I said that.
Why would you want gotta not
crabby.
catch them all?
I was
Yeah.
thinking sex.
Crabby
Tinder,
and King
STDs.
There's a
STD.
crabby
Wow.
come
Yeah.
Crabby.
There's
Swipe
a
left.
crabby in my pants now.
Is there medication?
Yeah, I hope so. It's probably like a rock type. What? No, that's bad against water. What's good against water?
Electricity.
Electricity.
Which
So,
doesn't make sense.
Can we hook up some jumper
Why-
cables?
Why
to
doesn't that
it?
make
It
sense?
channels electricity. It
Like,
doesn't,
okay,
get hurt
straight
by
into
it.
He's
your body.
an actual scientist.
Come
so
on,
he's
man.
probably
How
gonna-
does
Okay.
that not make
But
sense?
like water isn't.
If you are made of water, and
Everything's
I
made
shock,
of water.
and I shock, yeah. So if I shocked you with electricity,
Yeah.
it hurts.
No,
right?
basically, electricity should
guess.
hurt everything except water.
No, but think about this.
That doesn't make any
Think about
sense.
this, John. If all the water in your body was replaced with rubber, and
Mhm.
I shocked you,
Yeah.
it wouldn't hurt as much
So
as.
all the
One
other
Piece-
Pokemon
the
are made of
the
rubber.
One Piece scenario.
Exactly right. One Piece. If you were Luffy,
Have you read that manga?
Sky Island.
Do you guys know that
Have you read
manga?
that manga?
in the
I think it's
manga,
my favorite one.
It actually is my favorite one.
Yeah, no,
One
I'm
Piece.
not even
One
kidding.
Piece is
One
amazing.
Piece is so good.
I love One Piece.
Everyone says it's really good.
Have you not seen
He
slash
doesn't
read
like
the
he doesn't-
manga?
He doesn't
of
like
One Piece?
manga.
I don't like long form anime. I watch anime. I don't
Read it.
manga.
Read it. It's so good.
It takes so long. He wouldn't do it.
You are missing
To
out.
read it,
I'm all about.
There's like 700.
if-
I've read it, all of it.
If there's
twice.
an anime
Yeah,
that's
but we
24
like it.
episodes, I will watch.
It's
You know how
so-
slow it is at the
I
start?
love.
It's
like,
so quick
short
though.
anime.
Yeah, but like the start, the drawing isn't that great either.
Trigun,
Like, really push
freak.
through it.
That's like my
I
favorite thing in the world.
freaking love it.
You need to get on One Piece.
One
Trigun's
Piece is
amazing.
so good.
One Piece is great.
But Trigun's an anime, right? First,
Is it?
it's not a manga.
If it is, that's
A
incredible.
what?
Because the story in that's
I hate
crazy.
saying that.
A
I'm saying
manga.
manga. I'm
Manga.
saying manga.
It's a manga.
Manga.
It's
I-
a manga, mate.
I keep saying
Manga.
manga, but it's manga.
Read the
Manga.
manga.
is
Manga.
the-
I'm saying manga.
I believe it's manga.
Anyway, yeah, that's a good
Okay,
point.
I have a question.
That's a good point.
You're like a physicist or something.
Hold
So-
on. What are you? Are you a scientist?
We actually
No.
haven't introduced ourselves either.
That's fine.
I'm Ali. Who's this over there on his phone?
I'm Chris.
I'm Ye Chan.
I'm Jono.
And you are. What's your career?
I'm studying. I'm doing postgrad study in engineering.
Oh, so you're an engineer.
Yeah, I
It's-
did a science degree.
Close enough.
It's
So you are a scientist.
Can I ask my
aeronautical
question?
engineering though, right?
Yeah.
I make videos for a living. Yeah, Jan, what do you do?
I'm a salesman.
He sells Honda Civics. Chris, what do you do?
I kind of make videos. I'm at uni.
Right.
Don't do a lot.
He's a.
I'm
I'm
unemployed.
I'm at film,
Aspiring
I'm at film
filmmaker.
school,
And he's married too, so he's living the dream.
so it's all good.
Are you?
Manga.
Can you do it closer to the mic? Just
So okay, guys, I found it.
Manga.
That guy sounds like
Ready?
he's Japanese.
Manga.
How?
Manga.
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 You sound like a hipster.
Manga.
Manga.
If I say it with a
Sounds
Korean
like a
accent, will it
wanker.
be closer?
Saying
Manga.
right.
Is that close?
What Korean wanker?
That was my Korean accent. Manga.
Alright.
Are you Korean?
Do you play
Yes.
StarCraft?
Yes.
Do you watch Korean movies? Do you
Yes.
speak
You good
Korean?
at Counter-Strike?
Yes.
Okay, so we either have a choice, Chris. Chris, I'll let you make the decision. We can go on to your subject or talk about Pokemon for 8 more minutes.
Can we talk about Pokemon and Korean things?
Okay.
Was that your subject?
I'm happy to talk about Korean
No,
things.
but I love Korean. Like, I love Korean movies.
So real.
Hang on, I had another question. Because
Okay.
So Pokemon for 8
so there's all
minutes.
these storms out there, right, in the world,
Oh.
and there's like thunderstorms
Yeah.
What's going on?
and
Wow.
like with lightning and stuff.
Where are
It's
we
actually
right
made
If,
when
if we're
Pikachu's
like
get
over
together.
the ocean,
now? Paint me a picture.
we're over the ocean.
Yeah.
There's a storm.
Yeah.
Lightning.
I see
Yeah.
where this is going.
Water conducts electricity.
Yeah.
Do all the fish die?
No.
What happens?
It's too much
It
water, right?
dissipates really quickly.
What if there's a bunch of fish there? Do they die
Then
then?
they-
If they were right there, yeah, absolutely.
It's like chucking water at a sponge that's as big as a house. Like, it's not going to affect it, right?
It needs to ground as well. I'm not sure where it
I don't know if
goes.
that's true.
It would ground
Into the water, I guess. So I guess it just dissipates
all the
really
way to the
quickly.
core.
But-
Like electricity, if you're in water, I'm guessing it wouldn't. Well, maybe. It
It's
would
like
go.
if you had a house full of milk
'Cause
and
they-
you put a spoonful of Milo in it. The Milo is not going to affect
Why
it
would
because
you-
there's so much freaking milk.
Okay, I don't know what you're talking about, but you're always supposed to get out of the pool when there's lightning, apparently.
Well, the pool
Which I never
is
do.
a lot smaller.
A pool and an oocean is a little bit
Two
different.
different things.
Well,
There's no tool in this place.
There's a lot more fish.
I haven't watched
There's a lot of
that
fish out
yet.
there.
Yeah, something probably died.
There's probably a lot of dead fish
I mean,
on the bottom of the ocean.
Electric eels catch their prey by like electrocuting them.
Makes
So it
sense.
works.
So water conducts electricity, but not that good.
Hold on.
It's salt water, so it's reasonably good.
Hey,
Pure
Ah.
water wouldn't,
Really?
but it's the stuff in the water that tends to conduct it.
Oh.
so are
I'm sure-
electric eels
could be
Pokemons?
Electabuzz.
Are electric eels
Oh,
Pokemons?
there is one later. There is an electric eel Pokemon later.
Yeah, they got really uncreative.
So this is literally a real life Pokemon.
I guess.
I don't know what you want.
Like Caterpie. What do you think
A
of that?
Pidgey's a freaking
I want
bird,
you to
man.
tell me
Pidgey. What do you think of
that a
Pidgey?
Pokemon
Do you
exists.
Do you think a pigeon exists?
Oh,
Basically
you're
a
right.
Pidgey.
Pretty much every bird one is an exact
Yeah.
bird.
Pretty much
You
everyone
are
is
right.
based on
No.
something.
Okay, when's the last time you saw a bird
Like,
carrying a stick?
Yeah, didn't you see that Geodude the other day walking around the house? Or rolling? How do they move?
How did you?
They float.
They go like-
No, they fly.
They
Or they
fly.
go,
They can fly.
They can levitate.
They can fly.
Wait, okay, wait.
But how?
Speaking
so wouldn't
of
that make it a
flying Pokemon.
psychic Pokemon?
It's.
It's a piece of rock that floats.
Tell us about what.
Speaking-
No, but what happens in the manga?
Look in the.
Is there someone in black behind the Pokemon? Okay,
Okay, get this. Okay, a Geodude floats in midair,
Right.
and then it evolves to Graveler,
It can't.
and it no longer flies. It,
Yeah,
it's
it's gained
grounded.
like
'Cause it has
4
legs,
limbs.
right?
That's
got,
like it's. That's
6
probably
arms.
like its
It gains
dream
four
though.
arms, 4 arms and 2 legs.
What is it called after that? Golem?
Golem.
Yeah.
I
That was
missed
a
one.
creative.
I
Golem
missed- I missed
is
one of
dope.
Rose. I was so upset about
And then
it.
it gets a head, right?
Yes. No, it's already.
It's
It's
Yeah,
like
you're
a.
right.
It's a rock, and it's
I think
got like.
it
It's like a
gets
rock
It's
turtle.
got a
I think
separate
it gains a
arm.
body.
It becomes like a
I
turtle
think
rock.
it gains
Mm.
a body. It had a head.
No, it turns
didn't
into a
have
golem.
Man.
Geodude and Graveler like look the same, and then
Similar.
Golem's like.
But you can only get Golem by
How did-
trading,
how did
so
that come
Golem's
out
got
of
the
that?
prestige,
That's
man.
right. That's right.
I missed the Golem at Rhodes.
No.
What?
My app crashed.
No.
It crashed
Yeah.
on the scene with like just the ball.
If
and I was
anything's
like,
an
"Can I catch that?"
advertisement
I think-
of the new
I think if you
iPhones,
wait, you
it's
get
this
it.
app.
No, but like it's I always wait.
It
It's
does
still about
sometimes.
50%.
It doesn't.
50-50? Yeah, sometimes you get it.
Because I think I actually missed it, right? 'Cause
You
it was
know-
a high rank. I shouldn't have gotten it.
That's true. It would have popped
So I
out.
think it would have gotten away. It just didn't get to that screen.
You know you can play this game while charging your phone, and the battery still goes down.
Oh yeah.
That's how much it uses.
That's insane.
So they need to sort that.
If you're on Wi-Fi, usually alright. But yeah,
It
on the
uses
network
like
and stuff.
everything though. I feel like it should jank your battery.
GPS,
Screen.
3D, location,
3D. What?
3D.
What is this?
VR.
Oh,
Oh.
it's not 3D.
It is
That's a
3D.
camera.
It's not actually
It's
really
AR.
tracking anything though. It's
Yeah, it
just putting something there.
But when you move it, it stays there, which means it's tracking.
No,
that's
it's
just the same.
it's
And it
just it's
uses-
just picking up what your phone's tilting.
And it uses your
It doesn't track.
gyroscope,
Yeah, that,
and
That's-
it,
that's
it
what
uses
it is.
everything.
Your pedometer.
Your gyroscope shouldn't take a lot of battery.
Is-
The
is
big
it-
ones are your screen, your network,
GPS.
and your GPS. GPS is massive. Network can be bad if you have bad reception because it's got to boost the power to try and get the
See, that's
connection.
why I got him on this podcast. He knows things like that.
What
I
do
wouldn't
you,
even
what
know.
do you
How
know?
to, I wouldn't even know how
He'll
to
sell you a
Google.
car.
I would not know how to Google that.
And he'll play StarCraft like a boss.
What's the, what?
This is true.
Do you play
Do you play
StarCraft?
Of course I
Dota
do.
as well?
Huh?
Do you play Dota?
Of course, I have to.
And League of Legends.
Man, I wish I could play Dota, but I can't
Part
get it
of
on
our-
Mac anymore.
It's part of our
Thing,
national
mate.
anthem.
That's grade 4.
Frick.
Is Dota.
I'm just waiting for the Olympics of gaming.
They
It should
exist.
absolutely be a
Oh,
thing.
it doesn't
In
exist?
Korea, they exist.
Yeah.
Not Olympics.
Okay, so
it's
get this. Where
Korea.
I'm from, there are 3 TV channels dedicated to 24-hour
I've
gaming
watched
content.
them.
That's
I've
incredible.
watched the StarCraft one, and it's amazing.
It's so
The
good.
things they do, I didn't know that were possible. Okay, hang on, back on the Pokemon thing, because you guys said floating Pokemon, and I remembered this article in the news. What do you guys think about the fact that apparently ghost-type Pokemon appear at cemeteries?
Awesome.
Oh,
That's
Okay,
awesome.
first of all, that's it. Okay, wait.
Are you gonna say the coffee thing?
Are you gonna say
Yeah,
the coughing thing? I was gonna
yeah.
say the coughing thing. First of all, that's awesome. Second of all, freaking coughings appearing
In Auschwitz?
Yeah.
Holocaust.
Yeah.
in the Holocaust Museum.
I've never
What
been
the heck?
through so many different emotions reading an article. Of first, I was like, "That's so funny."
I think we just broke you for a second.
And then I was like, "Oh, like gassing." And then I was like, "Oh."
Ooh.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "That's actually
That
terrible."
was a downhill read.
That That's
bad.
So there's probably an old like Holocaust survivor like walking around in there watching people like on their phones playing Pokemon.
But what do you do? Like, do you know what I mean? You can't fix every.
Okay, but if
The
they
article I
specifically-
read.
They could just say there's not going to be any Pokemon in there.
That's
They could
what
create exclusions.
that's what the article said.
Yeah.
They were trying to do was trying to exclude the museum from
Right.
the game.
But I think that was the museum that was trying to do that.
Yeah, that's
and
what I
they
mean.
hadn't gotten a reply from Niantic.
Well, if anything, I feel like the traction that article got would.
Because that's bad.
Uh,
It's a bad look to have people
It
playing
is
Pokemon
bad.
in a cemetery. Let
I feel
alone
like
in a Holocaust museum.
Legally, they could just tell people they can't bring their phones in.
Yeah, they
And
could do that.
Can museums do that?
Okay. On that,
Yeah.
how far do you think this will go? Do you think, like, businesses will get involved? They'll.
Yes.
Already.
Yeah. I
Alright.
think if you own a cafe and you're near a Pokestop, you should be dropping a law.
But will they be able
Absolutely.
to
We were at Harry's
organise
Byers
one
earlier.
to be there?
Yeah, I think they'll go for
Oh,
that.
okay. I see what you're
I
saying.
think they'll
Like-
go
If
for
they
that.
put out that you can buy a Pokestop, it will go gangbusters. Like your
Yeah.
business can buy a Pokestop.
Do you think we'll get there?
Well, that'll be like a war of attrition because if you're the business that doesn't get, like people will be getting it not because they want one, but because they don't want to be the only business that doesn't have one.
Right.
Because if you have an option between 3 cafes, and 2 of them don't have Pokestops, and one
Yeah.
of them does, you're going to want the
The
one
only
that does.
the only way I would say it wouldn't, reason I would say it wouldn't, is because it's making so much damn money already.
Well, the other thing is, if you're a cafe owner, would you want 40 people standing there not buying anything, but just catching Pokemon in your store?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been finding I'm not actually buying things
Hmm.
at the
Mm.
Pokestops. I'm just using them for the Pokemon.
Well, I think
If you have
cafes. Why do you have free Wi-Fi? Like, why do you get people in the
Well,
door?
maybe it'll split cafes and other businesses into like they don't have it or they do have it, right? Because
But-
people will definitely be like, I hate this game and I don't want to be anywhere
See
near
these
it, so
Poke
you can't,
freaks.
right? So
Right.
they'll go to the one that doesn't have it. So maybe that's more like, what do you want to be? What do you want your business?
I think there's a smart way to do it. The best one I've seen is it was a restaurant that had Mondays and Tuesdays red team get 10% off the bill,
Genius.
and Wednesdays, Thursdays
Mm.
yellow team get something like that,
Wow.
because that still encourages you to buy something from that store.
Yes.
But you can. It's kind of cool to be able to go to a store and say, "Look, I'm Team Red."
And if you're giving
And I
out
get
a
a discount.
Wi-Fi password that works for a certain amount of
That's
time.
right.
And a positive, like, imprint on any customer
Mm.
is always awesome.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Do you think this game has the stickability to last that long, where businesses,
I was
cafes
wondering
will get
about that.
involved?
They're
Because
just-
we're going in hard right now.
Like, because right now it's such a massive part of
We're
the
going in
cultural
hard.
conscience.
I
But
think
but do you think it's going to last? Do you think we'll get there? Do you think we'll get to a place where, okay, like it's, I don't know, maybe it's calmed down a bit. Maybe it's like, I don't know, Angry Birds or something. Like everyone knows it, but like right now it's a phenomenon. It's outrageous. Like,
It is, but the thing is, it's bigger than any other mobile game that's ever been out.
Mm.
And I honestly, I have never seen. Like, I'm
let's
driving
go
around.
final thoughts from everyone.
I'm driving around, seeing people walking around playing
Yeah.
Pokemon. So
Avoiding
that's
them because
yeah,
they're walking out on the
exactly.
street
And
without looking.
while trying to catch something and not trying to hit them.
Mm.
If I was to play,
This is-
while
do
I
not
drive,
do not
which-
Pokemon
which
and
I
drive.
don't.
Don't Pokemon and drive.
So I don't know. Like, I think
But-
this is definitely something that hasn't
like,
happened before.
it's the biggest game since the last biggest game. You know?
I don't think so.
But there's certain elements they can add to the game that will make it last a lot longer. Like
And-
PvP
yeah.
and also trading
And I think it's
and all that stuff. At
Even
the moment,
that-
in its current form, I think it'll get old pretty quickly. But if you can get all those other elements,
even that looking where it could go, that blows my mind. Because right now everyone's obsessed with it,
Oh,
and it
yeah.
crashes all the time.
Yeah.
And
Imagine
you
if it's a clean.
you
it
can't do
works,
that much.
Doesn't destroy your battery
Mm.
if they can actually make that.
And keep in mind, this game actually hasn't been released worldwide
Mm.
yet. Even though people are getting ways to play it,
Yeah.
officially it hasn't been
I
released.
heard Europe is only in like September or something. That's ages.
And Asia hasn't even got it
Yeah.
Not even Japan.
Did you hear about that guy who got fired in Singapore?
yet. Yeah.
Sorry, real quick one before we go. I wasn't supposed to bring this up earlier. In Korea, this is an article, so I can't verify.
Small penises, who knew?
We've got a chart.
It's a bar graph.
Hey, there's
Makes
a,
sense, right?
There's a chart.
They just assumed North Korea was the same as South.
No,
as well.
okay, so in Korea, apparently, according to some sort of weird privacy law, they can't play Pokemon Go.
Because it's Google data.
Something like that, yeah. Something to do with
Yeah,
privacy.
I could
So
understand that.
because of that, there's only one small town or village somewhere that is allowed to play this game. And people are quitting their jobs to move to this village
Incredible.
to play Pokemon Go.
But can't you get a trainer account? Isn't there a different kind of account you can get? Because there's two ways to sign in. There's a Google one and there's this other account. You can
What?
get.
There's a trainer account?
Yeah, there's a different account.
Oh,
It just appeared on the update. You guys get the update?
yes.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
But since then, I haven't had to sign in
The
20,000
first time I had to
times.
sign in, there was two options: Google and there's like that trainer.
So now it's
something
just
else.
Google.
No, there was two options. There was
Okay.
Google and there was
And
another
that
one.
would probably just be creating a Google account, though, wouldn't it?
No, I assume that's going on their website and creating
Yeah.
an account with
Maybe this is a result of people not being able to play
Yeah,
it.
I was seeing
in
they're trying to
Korea.
get it.
And I also read an article about how when you sign in with Google, it has pretty loose like structure of what they can access.
I think that's just a fear one. Because there's...
No, but then Niantic or whoever released a thing saying, "Oh, yep, we've changed that now."
Yeah, they
Oh.
did have to update it.
Shivers.
Yeah, to address
Um,
that.
Anyway, my final thoughts and the reason why it will never go away, at least for a couple of years, is it's not... There's games that kind of reinvent genres and kind of make genres, and this is a game that uses Google Maps 100% for the first time. Or actually, the other people that did it are them.
Yeah,
Like
Ingress,
the
yeah.
the first game was them. And who has the access to that kind of technology except Google?
Mm.
So the only one who could make a competitor for them is Google.
Googlemon.
Mm.
And why would they do that when they've got something that's bigger than social media?
Mm.
Which I think, yeah, what I'm interested in to see is if it expands into a life thing and not just a game somehow.
Well, as AR expands, I guess it'll become more immersive and I don't know.
Like the way you shop through Facebook now, like will
Mm.
you shop through Pokemon Go in the future?
I don't know.
Shop for Pokemon on an exchange.
I think
Dark web.
I think what happened is
Slave
we'll,
Pokemon.
we'll be walking around with
We're all
glasses
slaves.
on,
Mm.
literally just seeing Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
And
That
like
was the
the
dream
Pokemon
of
currency
Glass.
will become
Yeah.
like an
That's
actual...
right, and I think
That
it's
was
gonna
the
happen.
Google Glass dream.
Yeah, I think it's gonna happen.
It was a great idea.
It was.
It just looked
You
dumb.
just look like a dick.
Yeah. Thank you.
I just got freaked out by the recording thing. Anyway,
Anyway, we've gone over time, even though we don't have a set time because it's
That's
the first
good.
episode. Groupsettings.info.
What the hell?
Please subscribe. We are just starting out. We're pretty raw. As you can see, I've got a cable.
Going raw.
We've got 3 mics. Next week we'll have 4.
Black Lives Matter.
Hashtag Black Lives Matter.
Yeah,
Or do they?
that's
Hashtag Pokemon Go.
Hashtag Pokemon Go.
And
hashtag group
Hashtag
settings.
websites can kiss my ass.
Groupsettings.pro.
No.
Groupsettings.info. And if you're on iTunes, please leave us a review. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe.
Hashtag Desert Chat.
Thank you.
Manga. Hashtag.
Hashtag manga.
Group settings.